Welcome into Thunder and Ice, our fall and winter severe weather special. I'm Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. I've assembled the whole weather team, Jacob Dickey, Alex Puckett, Jacob Riley, and we will be talking about severe weather and winter weather over the next 30 minutes. Now, we're all from different parts of the country, all from different states. I'm from Michigan originally, the land of lake effect snow, cold, clouds. Alex, you're from Alabama, a little bit different down here in the deep south.
That's right, Keith. From snow and ice to tornadoes and severe thunderstorms, we get a wide range of weather in the winter in the deep south.
All right, so things are a little bit different in Illinois versus the deep south, Jacob.
Yeah, Keith, winters in Illinois can be brutal. Blizzards, ice storms, and more. And believe it or not, even though we get so much snow, we still can have tornadoes in the wintertime.
Now, Jacob Riley, you're from eastern Texas, so getting back down here in the south, things are a little bit different compared to Illinois.
We've gone from winter storm warnings in the morning to tornado warnings in the afternoon, so we've definitely seen our fair share of all types of weather all throughout the winter.
You know, looking back at the record books, we have some extremes here in North Mississippi and West Alabama. During the months of winter, it can be really warm here.
For sure. In fact, in 1996 in February, we actually got up to 89 degrees, so we're no stranger to seeing those high 70s and high 80s across our area during the winter months.
So not only can we get hot, but we also get cold. It is winter, by the way.
Yeah, we really can. And believe it or not, as cold as last winter was, when we had single-digit temperatures for several nights in a row, back in the 1940s, we got down to -14 in Tupelo.
It's crazy when you think that here in Mississippi and Alabama it can get below zero, down to -14, and sometimes that cold and moisture can give rise to some other stuff, Alex.
Of course, snow, of course, is a big deal in Mississippi and Alabama in winter. Some folks love it, some folks hate it. We average about an inch of snow per year out here, but we don't see snow every year. Typically, we get bunches here and there. We can see up to a foot of snow, and in fact, we have seen up to a foot of snow in our area in the past 5 years.
Yeah, just a couple of years ago, a lot of snow here, even in the Columbus area. And this park where we're at here, sometimes will flood during the wintertime season. Winter, our wettest time of year, we average about 5 inches of rain during our winter months. So this area here can flood, and it's just a matter of time to see exactly what winter is going to do. And this whole show is based on winter weather, winter extremes, warm and cold, and we get a bunch of questions from viewers. They want to know what's going to happen, and we're going to answer some of those questions here over the next couple of minutes.
Is my school closed tomorrow?
That is the #1 question we seem to get asked when winter weather is possible here in North Mississippi and West Alabama. On a nice day like today, we wouldn't expect to have any classes canceled, but snow days do occur around here when snow, sleet, and freezing rain are in the forecast. In order to get snow, the atmosphere needs to be pretty much below freezing all the way from the ground to the clouds. If surface temperatures are around freezing, we often get those big, fat snowflakes that allow snowmen to pop up like weeds. This is often the kind of snow that falls around here. Sleet, on the other hand, involves a shallow melting layer in the atmosphere where the air is warmer than 32 degrees. Snowflakes fall from the clouds, turn into raindrops as they pass through the warm layer, then refreeze into ice pellets as they fall back into the cold air near the ground. Totals won't be nearly as high as snow. Freezing rain requires a deep melting layer above the ground with surface air temperatures at or below 32 degrees. Rain falling into this environment will freeze on contact with objects on the ground like roads, bridges, and power lines.
Of course, our worst fear would be another ice storm. I hope we don't get that, but we have plans in place for whatever comes along. You know, people that's never experienced that, they think somebody's in their yard shooting the way those frozen pine trees pop.
In January 2009, a major ice storm struck northern Arkansas. Up to 2 inches of ice accumulated, and some folks were without power for a month. The ice storm in February 1994 is thought to be the worst ice storm in recent memory in Mississippi. Up to 6 inches of ice accumulated during that storm in parts of the Delta, but effects were felt across northeast Mississippi and northwest Alabama. While we've had bouts of snow and ice over the last few years, there hasn't been a widespread and crippling ice storm here in a long time.
We designed for a 1/4 inch ice on the accumulation on the conductors of our electric system. Now you start accumulating 1, 2, 3 inches, yes, our lines are going to start sagging down, and that extra weight can, it's going to put extra stress on the poles. If you put enough stress on them, they'll start breaking.
Ice adds weight. Depending on the conductor or line in use in the 4-county electric coverage area, a 1/4 inch glaze can add up to 0.33 pounds of extra weight per foot. A 1/2 inch coating can deliver up to 0.82 pounds of extra weight per foot. 3/4 of an inch of ice can add up to a whopping 1.5 pounds of extra weight per foot. All that added weight can bring down trees, lines, and poles. If a pole does go down, operators at Fort County will quickly know what is needed to restore power since each one of their poles is geotagged for reference. Customers are encouraged to call or text an outage to Fort County if there is an actual problem. The more people that relay a report allows Smart System software to determine exactly where the outage is occurring.
Sometimes we can get the power back on depending on what it is in 20 or 30 minutes. Sometimes it may be a day or two. It just depends on the severity.
It's just a waiting game now to see if the right mix of moisture and cold air will set up shop over northeast Mississippi and west Alabama. Some years it happens, some years it doesn't. It just takes one storm to cause big problems. Bridges are one of the first things that will freeze up during winter weather. You see signs like this all over the place. They're here for a reason. Heed the advice. Reason being is that cold air will blow above and below the road surface at the same time, leading to rapid heat loss of a bridge deck. Compare this to regular road surfaces that cool from just the top. Bridge materials like metal and concrete are good conductors of heat, and they'll lose their energy quickly when cold air moves on in. Elevated surfaces like bridges in winter weather are often a bad mix. Unsuspecting drivers can lose control of their vehicle or even suffer a crash if they encounter icy spots when going over a bridge. I know many of you don't even want to think about driving in winter weather. Trust me, I get it. I've done a lot of winter weather driving, but regardless of where you're at, up north or down here in the south, winter driving is about the same. Be sure to buckle up before heading out. Once on the road, simply slow down and keep plenty of distance from the car in front of you. That can't be stressed enough. When coming to a stop, make sure to brake early and gently to avoid skidding. Never slam on your brakes when on a slippery surface. Don't use cruise control and leave your cell phone alone to avoid any unnecessary distractions. Keep a constant eye on drivers and any other potential hazards that may be headed your way. Some of the things you may want to have in your car during a winter road trip include an ice scraper, flashlight and batteries, jumper cables, a first aid kit, blankets, cell phone chargers, water and snacks, and reflectors or emergency flares. The MDOT traffic and Algo traffic apps are a must for Twin States travelers during the winter season. Of course, be sure to have your WCBI mobile app on your device for the latest news and weather forecast information for your area.
When will the storm hit my house?
WCBI's Weather Special, Thunder and Ice, is brought to you by Fort County Electric Power Association and Lee's Storm Shelters in Aberdeen.